spiritual connection without religion? Is it possible? For years, I asked myself this question. Is it possible to feel connected to something greater without following a particular religion? I was raised, like many people, to believe that God, or the higher power, was tied to organized religion, specific prayers, rituals, doctrines, rules. And yet, as life unfolded, I found myself feeling disconnected from rigid structures, but deeply drawn towards something beyond myself. I wondered, is spiritual connection reserved only for those who follow religious systems, or is there a path to the higher power that transcends religion? Today, I want to take you through my personal exploration, the wisdom of ancient traditions, modern day examples, and even scientific discoveries that shed light on this powerful question. By the end, you may discover, like I did, that the path to the higher power might be far closer than you think. What do we mean by higher power? Before we go any deeper, let's define what we mean by higher power. For some, it's God. For others, it's source, the universe, spirit, or consciousness. I've come to realize that names don't matter as much as the experience itself. The higher power is that which gives life, moves the universe, is infinitely intelligent, is both within us and beyond us. You can call it God, you can call it Tao, you can call it divine energy. All point to something greater than our limited individual ego. For a long time, I thought connecting to this force required strict rules, rituals, and intermediaries. But as my personal journey unfolded, I began to see the higher power doesn't live inside buildings or dogmas. It lives right here, in presence, silence, love, and awareness. Religion can be a beautiful guide for many, but connection itself is not dependent on any one system. It's much more intimate than that. My personal journey from ritual to relationship. I grew up like many, following religious traditions handed down through my family. There were specific prayers, customs, holidays, and teachings. And for a while, I found comfort in it. But as I got older, I started feeling disconnected. The rituals began to feel mechanical, the words empty. I would sit in places of worship and wonder, why do I feel so far from God while doing all the things I'm supposed to do? I started questioning, is this really connection? Or am I just performing? Life brought its own trials. I went through personal struggles, health issues, emotional pain, moments where I felt lost and deeply alone. In one of those dark nights when I was overwhelmed, I simply sat in silence. No prayers, no formulas, just raw presence. And something happened. In that quiet space, I felt something I hadn't felt in years, a presence, calm, peaceful, still. It wasn't an external voice, it was an inner knowing, a comfort that said, "You are not alone." That moment shattered the idea that I needed a middleman to access the divine. The higher power wasn't waiting for perfect words or ceremonies, it was waiting for honesty, for presence, for surrender. That was the beginning of my direct relationship, without intermediaries, without fear, just me and the divine. Let me share with you some traditional stories awakening beyond religion. Throughout history, countless mystics and sages have spoken of connecting to the higher power beyond formal religion. Lao Tzu and the Tao. In ancient China, Lao Tzu wrote the Tao Te Ching. He didn't create a religion, he spoke of the Tao, the way, an invisible force that moves all things. The Tao that can be named is not the eternal Tao. He taught surrender, simplicity, and harmony with life itself. Lao Tzu didn't ask for temples or rituals, just alignment with the flow of existence. The desert hermits. In early Christianity, some individuals known as the Desert Fathers left behind the structures of the church to live in silence in the wilderness. In solitude, they sought direct communion with God, beyond sermons, beyond crowds. Their writings often spoke of deep peace, found not through religion, but through solitude, contemplation, and inner stillness. The Sufi mystics. Sufis, the mystics of Islam, speak constantly of intimate union with the beloved, God. Rumi, one of the most famous Sufi poets, wrote, I searched for God and found only myself. I searched for myself and found only God. Their connection wasn't based on dogma, but on deep love and surrender. Let's bring this into today's world. The surgeon who found God in science. I know a surgeon who once identified as an atheist. Every day he worked on the complexity of the human body, the precision of organs, the intelligence of healing, the miracle of life. One day, while performing a delicate heart surgery, he was overwhelmed with awe. There's an intelligence behind this, he said. This can't be random. Though he never joined a formal religion, his work became his meditation. He described surgery as a sacred dance with a higher power guiding his hands. Science meets spirituality. Even science is starting to recognize aspects of higher connection, the quantum field. Physicists now describe a unified field, an invisible, intelligent field connecting all matter. Some call it the quantum field. Others see it as similar to ancient descriptions of God or Source. Everything is interconnected at levels we don't fully comprehend. When I learned this, I realized science is discovering what mystics have long known. Everything is one. Near death experiences, NDEs. Countless people who experience NDEs report the same themes: a feeling of overwhelming love, a light that welcomes them, a presence beyond description. Many of these people had no religious background, yet they describe profound spiritual encounters. Brain research. Studies of advanced meditators show reduced activity in areas tied to ego, heightened activity in regions tied to compassion, peace, and unity. People describe these states as feeling one with everything. I've experienced glimpses of this during deep meditation, a dissolving of self, a merging with something vast, loving, intelligent. Not religion, but presence. So, how can we connect to the higher power without religion? Here are pathways that help me and countless others. 1. Silence. When I sit in silence without agenda, something within opens. Silence is not emptiness, it's full of presence. Second nature. Standing beneath vast mountains, oceans, or starry skies reminds me of my smallness and the grandeur of the divine. Nature doesn't preach, it shows. Third, gratitude. Every morning I list things I'm grateful for. Gratitude opens the heart, and where the heart opens, the divine enters. Court service. Serving others, even simple acts of kindness, connects us to something larger than self. 5, surrender. When I whisper, I trust you, whatever you are, peace floods in. Connection is not earned, it's received when we let go. Now, let's clear a few myths. Myth 1, you need religion to find God. False. Many find deep connection without formal systems. Myth 2, spirituality without religion is New Age nonsense. False. For thousands of years, mystics across cultures have spoken of direct connection. Myth 3, if you're not part of a church or temple, you're lost. False. The higher power doesn't live in buildings, it lives within you. For me, stepping outside rigid dogma actually opened the door to a much more intimate relationship with the divine. No fear, no guilt, just presence, love, and trust. The parable of the sunlight. Imagine sunlight shining through a stained glass window. Religion can be like that stained glass, beautiful, colorful, structured, but even without the window, the sun still shines. The higher power is the sun. Religion is one way to experience its light, but not the only way. Some need the stained glass, others sit directly under the sun. Both receive the light. For me, once I stepped into the open sunlight, beyond fear, guilt, and rigid beliefs, I discovered a connection more real than anything I had ever known. So, in summary, can we connect to the higher power without religion? Absolutely. Religion can be a guide, but it's not the gatekeeper. The higher power is not restricted to books, buildings, or ceremonies. It breathes through silence, nature, love, gratitude, and surrender. For me, it was the moment I stopped trying so hard and simply sat open and honest that I felt the divine presence. And here's the beautiful truth: the door has always been unlocked. You only need to enter. If you feel drawn to religion, honor that path. If you feel drawn beyond religion, know that the higher power awaits you too. The connection is real, it's intimate, it's personal, and it's available right now. If this message resonates with your journey, share your thoughts in the comments. How have you experienced connection beyond religion? Make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video with anyone searching for their own path to the divine. Until next time, stay open, stay present, and trust the unfolding.